Love. Oh, I have to turn my Bluetooth speaker and my music up. I love that thing, man. Bluetooth to me are remarkable because here's another little one I have, very small. I don't use this. I'll probably get rid of that. The big one's just got everything. It's got the bass, the mids. I'm a musician. I like sound, and I'm not really a scientist of sound or a analyst of it or extremely knowledgeable, but I know that there's certain elements that I have to have, and that's I like to have the bass. I like to have it full and deep. However, without mids and treble, bass is just muddy to me. All that sound that the younger guys like. See, my cheeks are puffed up there. Anyway, so my last video in this series is called "Sleeping with the Enemy." Sleeping with the enemy. Narcissists. Something that's a topic that's so, at this time, it's very popular in a way, not just for popularity's sake, say a new item would be, or a fashionable pair of clothes or something. It's because people are searching for answers and they're finding them in these narcissist videos like I did. It's very interesting because we're surrounded with people that are so off balance. They're off with the harmony of the universe. They're off the harmony with us. They're off with their self, and they're reckless. They're erratic. Some of them are hateful, spiteful, evil, angry, stressed. And thank God I don't have that stress. Music does something for me that I just don't carry it. I'm always laughing and joking. I've done this even when I was going through the earthquake or the tsunami that my ex-narcissist, a lady named Sheila Sunday Howard in Denver, created long distance. I'm here in Omaha. I'm a working musician here in Omaha. So, make a long story short, the music, it just kept me and my sense of humor grounded where some people fell apart because I see that it causes catastrophe for a lot of people because they're traitors and you trust them. See, it's different when you trust somebody, you put your faith in them. These people know this, most people, but then when they turn out to be totally the opposite of what they've been portraying, and they turn out to be hateful towards you and actually declare war on you, that's psychological and spiritual and mental war on you, and try to tear you apart. And that's what mine did. It was so hideous that I loathed her calling it after a while. After about 3 or 4 months of her creating things that didn't exist, and then using me as the scapegoat, villainize, demonize me, using her kids for excuses so she could run off and have sex and get screwed, which everybody knows she was doing. I mean, anybody that's vanishing and just says F you for 8, 9 days and comes back that never did it before, hated it, they're ghosting. They're having sex. And she actually admitted it in a lot of ways. And that's what's so sad about these people, because they're not really that intelligent. She was like a child. In the end, I just couldn't take her seriously. Since I saw that she had no self-respect, I had no reason to respect her. I never will until I probably won't ever see her or talk to her. But what I'm saying is, I don't have a reason to respect her because she didn't speak of herself respectfully. And then I was a vulgar, crazy, insane, filthy, terrible person for putting the stuff that I did on the internet. I got some stuff that's unbelievable. But let me tell you, most of it's from her own words, how she described herself, her acts, her dishonor, her not honoring her word, and just chain of these unusual coincidences that nobody has unless they're lying. They're cheating, they're hiding something. Some dude stuck a big thing in her or something, and just her mind just flipped, a switch flipped. Her name is Sheila Howard. I mean, she's got a Facebook page, Ramisi Anderson. She doesn't know anything about it. Maybe her daughter. Well, take it down then. Wouldn't you do that? I would. Somebody else put this bit up there. So it's just a rash of these. And using 323, which an ex-friend of mine, I believe she was having sex with him. And that's the lowest kind of person you can get that scavenges like a roach or a rat of your friends. That's just terrible because it's so easy for a woman because everybody wants to have sex with her. And they know that. And that's another point with these narcissists. They're such liars, as we all know, pathological liars. Mine would do things that were obviously contrary to any kind of respect for me they were very insulting, and they were low for her. She made herself look like just I don't know what, it's lower than a whore, really. There's going to be some words used in this series that I'm using for description, not to be vulgar or to be foul. So please bear with me. So I'm part of I guess some people call it war on narcissists. I'm committed to that now because I learned so much. Because I see this everywhere. People just, girls cheating on their men, guys cheating on, everybody talks about screwing and blah, blah. And they see a woman, and this is another thing about the narcissists. They're so stupid. They're so shallow and, what's the word for it? Transparent. They're like they're underdeveloped from maybe 7 or 8 years old or something. Flirting and getting compliments was pumping her up, and she was mentioned it a couple of times. And I could see that these guys had intention. You know what? All these guys, I tried to explain it to her nicely, but she turned anything I say. These narcissists are very vile. If there's an underworld where there's just a bunch of leviathans, hideous creatures, that's what they are. She's turned it as if I was berating her. I said it nicely at first, but she wouldn't listen. So you're telling me as if you're proud of the fact that some dudes were flirting with you. They want to screw you. That's what all the guys say. I don't want to. So evidently she wants to be screwed. So then she's contrary to what she said for 16 years. Then that makes you a whore. You're vanishing. You don't give a damn about your relationship. You think I'm supposed to be some kind of sissy or, some kind of little board to walk over and come back. Not I. I'm not that person. My sense of humor, after a while, about 4 or 5 months, I said, this is insane. She's insane. She needs medicine. To think that I'm going to take anybody who would take that and call it love, they're sick. I mean, it's tragic for them. Really, for me, I'm to the point where I've been there for 2 years where she's a laugh fest. She called me recently and started texting to come back. It was a Hoover, supposedly. It was something else behind it. But yet, sometimes I couldn't reach her phone. She wouldn't answer text. Just simple text like, okay, so blah, blah. That's disregard. That's hate. Vanishing is hate. She tried to convince me that vanishing is not hate. That's also an insane person and a very twisted, bizarre, maybe just a dumbass. I hate to say it. So I'm going to get into the narcissistic stuff. I actually made some notes today. So let me put this on part 2 because this will get too long. Hey, now Bluetooth, I'll get you back on shortly. I just love this Bluetooth right here. This little JBL it's got powers up the whole apartment. Okay, peace out now. Sleeping with the enemy. My life with a narcissist. And I'm one of what I see now, at least hundreds of thousands I've seen on YouTube, and some of them are very hurt and traumatized. It's hurtful. When somebody vanishes on you, then they create some lies that you know are lies. You know they're doing something, and you know they don't love you and they hate you because they would not do that to you, and they don't want that done to them. So they hate you, and then they come back and try to throw in your face. For me, that's an act of war. So I went to war against her, and I'm still at war against that type of demon and that kind of evil, hateful person. I don't want them around me. I don't want to hear shit they say because their words and meanings, 1 minute is terrible to vanish, and then you're accusing me, and then when I do it, I'm the monster, and it's okay now. Those are people that are so twisted, they're dangerous. And most of the narcissistic community says that they're dangerous. So this is just the intro, really. I get long-winded, but it needs to be said. I'm doing this for history's sake because I lived it, and I did nothing to cause it. She was all gung-ho and happy, but they're just bizarre. And then, boom, some vanity star. I said, don't do that again. Very nicely. She tried to make it like I was mean and hateful and bashing for them. That's a damn lie. You're a lying piece of shit, and you're garbage, and that's how I'm going to treat you. Anyone that's got that kind of demonic evil, that's what they deserve. They don't deserve to be on the earth with us. We're trying to be good and do right and correct ourselves. I got a lot of flaws. I wasn't perfect. I admit it, but I know what I need to correct. And I've corrected so many, and I still have to the rest of my life. But them, oh, you're the blame for everything. Blame shifting, gaslighting. Man, that person, it was such a hideous creature towards the last few months. I loathed when I called. Sometimes I just wouldn't take the calls. I'd not answer text. She went through a texting period. She wrote texts